Hello and welcome to another episode of Finding a Toria. My name is Malcolm. You are listening to a weekly TTRPG-focused podcast where three lifelong friends with 30-plus years each of table experience sit down, discuss some of the games that we love, discuss our world of Atoria, and hopefully help more people come into our great community and hobby. It's another early one, but is it? It feels like it's earlier than it is.
It's not
that
early.
That's just me.
It's not early.
Let's go around the table and say not good morning, but good afternoon to Arcadia and Tori, my amazing co-hosts that are here.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Welcome in. We have had some pretty good feedback on something that we've done a couple of episodes of and are starting a little series or segment, which is our Beginner's Guide to Vampire the Masquerade clans. And we're going to go ahead and do a third segment of that today. I'm going to moderate a little bit and learn all that I can about the two clans that Arcadia and Tori have researched and are bringing to us today. But we have no idea who will be speaking first until...
Dun, dun, dun.
The Math Rocks, we are going to award no bonuses. We are going to have a clean roll this morning. D20, highest number gets preference.
12.
19.
Okay, so who's going first?
You go first.
Okay.
All right. And Tori, today you are bringing us a clan expose on...
Toreador.
Tori's doing Toreador.
Tori on Toreador. So it works out really well. And you spent some time researching the clan Toreador for Vampire the Masquerade. Tell our beginner players what they need to know.
They're the artists. My first vampire character was a Toreador because I wasn't allowed to play a Malkavian. So I played this class. Probably not to its fullest, but
Okay.
I was, what?
Yeah, it was
17?
high school.
I don't think we were playing anything to our fullest then.
I was 17. But fun thing is, I was talking about Ventrus being the face. Absolutely not.
No.
The Toreadors would be.
Yeah.
Right.
And we sort of touched on that last time when we talked about the TV show. You could definitely see you had your Ventru prince, you know, but his Toreador girlfriend was definitely the spokesperson.
Yep.
Correct. So Toreador being the artists, being that face maybe inside the vampire world. Tell me about their skills and how they move around.
Well, like their biggest thing is beauty.
Okay.
They're in that can be their bane too.
Okay.
Is because they are the artists, they have a little bit of can have obsession and can be so enthralled with something that they're not like coming out of it.
Okay. Sort of like the myth of Narcissus, like just staring at himself.
They can fry themselves because of the beauty of a sunrise.
Right.
Like for real.
You've got an architecture obsession, and you wake up in the morning to see the sun hit the And
also, something's never if it's not beautiful, then you're fucked. Like they will get. That's not what they want to surround themselves with.
Okay. So this is going to put them maybe in direct contention with some other clans.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right, oh, yeah. Big time.
I'm sure if they're ugly, they don't want them.
So, artists. I obviously come to easy ones, you know, musicians,
Painters.
fine art, painters, sculptors, things like that. Is there anything in that category that isn't what we would easily think of? Is there anything that stand out as sort of different?
CGI.
Oh, okay.
So we have those creative engineers in computer world, and they would be considered artists.
Okay. What about like, say, a writer? Okay. Because I'm thinking that's not a visual beauty thing.
It does not matter. It's still art. Poetry.
It's where they find the beauty.
It's where they find the beauty, and they can get obsessed with it.
Okay.
Where do you find them as a role in the Camarilla? Where are they working?
They're one of the big three.
Okay.
So they've been at it, and there's probably they can be the face. They're good at being spies. They're probably really good with interfacing with mortals since they have a tendency to really like mortals. Like to the point where they surround themselves with them and can choose pretty quickly, but they're fickle as shit.
Okay.
Because when they sire people, they have a tendency to, and I know I veered off, but when they sire, they pick somebody for beauty or an artist, or for being an art, like up and coming star, and it could be a one-hit wonder, and their sire would be like, sucks to suck, and walk away.
Oh, wow.
You're only as useful as the beauty you provide.
Right.
Tell me more about how their interaction with the mortal world goes. From my understanding, they hold a little bit more onto that and maybe traffic more in the mortal sphere because they're looking for that beauty. They're looking for that next inspiring art.
They can be like, they're stage managers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
I would honestly
patron
think,
of the arts.
Or yeah, I would think like just producers and things
looking
like
for
that.
the next big thing. They've
Yeah.
got their hand in it.
Talent agent sort of thing. All right.
And they have a tendency to be more, they end up pretending to be mortal way more.
That's what I was going to say. They
are
probably rely on the masquerade a lot more.
They
than
rely
others.
on it a lot more because they're so looking for the next thing.
Almost dependent on those
Yeah,
mortal
that-
trappings
because-
of new art, new music.
Because one of their problems is that if they find that thing, if the world moves too fast and that thing is not beautiful anymore, then we've got a problem. Because they're going to be like,
So, what, like, you talk about them being one of the big three, like in the Camarilla. What strength or power do they bring?
well, I can tell you that their three disciplines are aspects, celerity, and presence.
Okay, so presence, I know. Celerity, I know I have learned, but I'm not remembering right
They
now.
fast.
Okay, yes. Okay.
They rip you up before you realize it.
Yes, that's my Banu Hakim has that.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, it's been a while since I
They
played. Which one is it? Okay.
And aspects is once more into the like swaying, being the face, swaying the crowd. You can sit there and use that with presence too.
So where are you finding them? And I'm going to maybe a table dynamic here. If I've got my Toreador inside the coterie and we're at the table, from a storyteller standpoint, where are you going to find some potential initial friction clan-wise? If I'm a Toreador, who do I choose not to mix with?
Honestly, it was said like it was in the big book too. Nosferatu
Obviously.
and Gangrel.
They're just
Are just like-
dirty and ugly and sad. They make me sad to be around if I'm a Toreador.
But the Gangrel and Nosferatu also are on point with the sire losing interest.
Oh.
They look down on the Toreador for that. So it'll be a two-way street.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like oftentimes that is the case. Is if one clan doesn't like one,
Right. There's a
it's-
reason that they don't like each other.
Right.
Reciprocity,
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting bane when you sort of look at the Toreador and how they have power to move in the mortal living world a little bit more. That if they had that level of, I guess, loyalty that the other clan sires have, it would almost be too much of an advantage, and their fickleness is kind of what makes them
They're artists.
right. And if it's not really snapping all my synapses right now, it's on to the next thing, and that's a lot different than you see in relationships, mostly in the VTM clan world. Very, very interesting. Did you find anything that, and I don't know if they use this still, but I remember there being in the political construct of the Toreador clan this guild idea?
There's two.
Okay, very
And
good.
it's the artistes and the posers.
Right,
Oh, sure.
right. Who's there for clout and who's actually
Right.
making
And I actually
stuff?
got here. The artistes would be the actual ones making art. Mm-hmm. The posers would be the critics,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the failed artists. So some of those that might have been a big name once in the day
Right.
and have lost their standing.
Has-beens.
And also those that are they're self they're making themselves beautiful. So like some of the posers would be some of those people who would be on the like botched.
Oh,
Right,
yeah. Like
right.
they've gone too far.
They're so obsessed with making themselves perfect.
Okay. So these influencers that are
Yep.
changing everything physically about themselves fall into that poser
Or
group. Yeah.
changing everything about how they do everything. So
Very neat.
What about their humanity? Because they are so involved in the human world, what's going on there? Are they very connected to their humanity?
they
or are
actually,
they not?
well, and it actually said that they either pose or they'll have a lot of humans around them on a daily.
Right.
Like they love humans.
So if I'm playing a Toreador, do I struggle with the need to eat or
No, because if you think about it, you're like, and I looked at that. I was like, so what the hell kind of feeding would we have? Scene Queen? Siren?
Okay.
Sure.
And Osiris, which is for the ones that pose as mortal.
Right.
Okay.
And you kind of have this traveling...
that weird affectation of that person, and they could probably just use presence or aspects and wipe whatever memory.
And kind of keep your little mobile buffet of toadies and lick spittles around you at all times. That's very interesting. It is one of those clans that, in my experience, often gets relegated to the artist, the club owner, but you can go so many different ways with that desire to be filled with beauty, that desire to be filled with art, that need for the next new thing, that there's a lot of different archetypes you could go with.
And I could definitely see how, like, as far as if you were, in a group, being able to have those roles, the spy type situation, informant, you can go a lot of places that others may not. And probably a very good ability to pretend to not be very impactful. You're only caring about the rock star on the stage. You're not really paying attention to the venture politics that are going on in the back area.
You have that jackass action star that is in everything.
Yeah.
And everybody knows his name,
Right.
but he's a jackass, but he's at every party.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And then
Knows everybody.
and then goes to the party for a couple of years too long after he's not really uninvited, but nobody's talking to him anymore. And then he's just the guy. Who was his name? What's that guy's name?
Right.
He was in the thing, wasn't he? And he's still at the party, still in the corner,
So
but it's past him. So the Toreador, very, very cool. Anything else? Any other tidbits that you would like us to know?
they were in their sire, like the number
Toreador, yeah.
she was a painter in the first city.
Very cool.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Are they one of the ancient
yes.
clans, one of
Yes.
the original?
Andrew, yeah.
Okay.
And made this huge mural. Blah. That was terrible.
Easy for you to say.
Apparently not caffeinated enough. Made this huge mural in the first city, and then Cain had all his visions, and because of this huge mural, Jesus, why can't I say that? Cursed her with the obsession of beauty. Was like,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why you'd get cursed with that. Okay.
so.
To weaken those around you. Yeah,
Right? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And they have gone off on like most of the big Canaanite cities. They've been one of the first ones there. It was always just one person was like, actually, that sounds like a good idea.
Right.
Like, let's go over there.
Right.
Same thing with the Sabbat, except they're twisted in the Sabbat.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask about that. I forgot to.
They're twisted. They will use all that beauty against you. Like, they are sadistic motherfuckers. They will tweak it. They like causing pain with any of those triggers.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Okay.
Very, very neat, very cool stuff. I had one or two more questions on this. We kind of address the do you want a Toreador at your table thing. I think the answer is yes, but where would you as a beginning player look for an opportunity, an archetype to play a Toreador? Where would you find them fitting in, and what kind of embraced mortal would you want to pick up as a beginning player?
You could probably start with an art school kid.
There you go.
Like, in all honesty.
Watch out, Juilliard.
Right. And maybe
or even a community college kid who, or like,
has an obsession with a certain artist or something. You know?
At this point, a YouTube star who actually has
an
talent.
influencer,
Sure.
big time.
Because your sire is going to want to see and be moved by that art. Doesn't really care if it's going to be long lasting or not.
It's beautiful right then.
Right. It's for the moment thing. My last question on this, and we can go on forever on Toreador, but if I am playing that Nosferatu, if I'm playing that gangrel at the table, where do we find how do you move forward with somebody who just hates you because you're ugly as shit?
I'm sure there's trading barbs back and forth, but I don't think it's like it's a lot of disdain and not like actual.
I was going to say they've had to work together with the Camarilla for a long time.
It's just disdain.
Respectful distances.
Yeah, it's like, you suck. No, you suck. Okay, let's get this done.
Right. Okay, all right.
We understand we don't like each other. Now let's do the job.
That's what the game master wants. Yes, absolutely. Hate each other later, play together now.
So
says the Ventru.
Right, exactly. There have to be rules, and I've written them all down. Very cool. I appreciate it. Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and back out for a break really quick, and then we come back. We've got an entire other clan, an entire other expose for beginners on Vampire the Masquerade clans for beginning players.
Cool.
Be right back, guys. Bye.
When you sit down at the table, open the books, and spill out the dice, you're looking for an epic adventure. Tabletop role-playing is more popular than ever, and every day new players join our great hobby. My name is Steve Kellums, and I'm the host of the Epic Adventure Podcast. I'm just a fan with a radio voice, but joining me on this quest will be Mike Howlett, the co-founder of Oddfish Games, a great independent game company, and Christina Stiso, a PhD student studying game-based learning. Together, we will discuss all things tabletop gaming, from character creation to world building to setting and pacing. We will give you tips and tricks to make your games, well, epic. Like and subscribe to the Epic Adventure Podcast today.
This episode of Finding a Tori is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. The Finding a Tori podcast is looking for guests for our upcoming episodes. Are you or someone you know passionate about the TTRPG community and have a story to share? If so, contact us on our socials or reach out at wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. And now back to your program. Welcome back to the Finding a Tori podcast. You are listening to Malcolm, Arcadia, and Tori. We just came back from a break after lots of good information on Toreadors for the Vampire the Magic Begin.
you did it too. It's not just me.
You did the gathering, and I did the magic.
Yeah.
I think it's anytime you go, bump up on the.
Yeah, it's the. That's the only reason.
VTM. Jiminy Christmas. We're not dumping that. We're sticking with this. Let's keep going. Tori did Toreador. Fantastic information on their role, their skills, how we can play them as beginning VTM players, if that's our clan choice. And then Arcadia, you wanted to give us another example. And I won't lie to you, this is usually the clan that I just close the book on. I get about 3 pages in and I'm like, they do what?
I will say reading the first chapter of their clan book
Creeptastic
is disturbing.
Yeah. So tell us.
Chuck wanted to be one, and I was like,
I think I will say in researching them, I could understand why you might want to play this clan.
Okay,
we'll go there.
So let's not stand on ceremony. You did some research, and you were bringing an expose on the clan
Tzimisce. And there are so many ways that this is pronounced.
You mean sashimi?
Yes.
And sashimi?
So sometimes people pronounce the T, sometimes people don't. I've heard people say, well, they're from Eastern Europe, and so this is how you'd say it if it was Romanian, and but it's partially Greek, and this is how you'd say it if it was that. And so I'm going with Tzimisce.
Tzimisce it is. And tell us a little bit about this clan.
Sure. So the Tzimisce clan are one of the ones that sort of like Banu Hakim, were not in the original game back when we were kids.
Correct.
Something you could play.
Right.
Now, they existed in the lore,
right?
But they just weren't an option for
They
playing.
were like, ooh,
right.
Look at that.
Right,
That's weird. Like, oh, this game is darker than I thought.
Right. And I do, I mean, honestly, they are really, in some ways I said the Nosferatu is sort of like your stereotypical, like, ugly vampire, whatever.
Right.
But the Nosferatu mentally are not the ugly vampire mythos. The Tzimisce are very much what I would say more psychologically dark.
Deranged, even, yes.
And I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know that it goes deranged.
Okay.
Sociopathic?
There are rules. They don't apply to me.
Off the buffet. Yes, okay.
So the Tzimisce Clan is all about transformation.
Okay.
And the idea for them is that when you move from being human to being vampire, that, and I will point that out, to being vampire, they are not Camarilla. They do not follow the Masquerade. They do not believe in it. They are old school. So they're not
Food.
They're not talking about kindred.
Vampire.
They're not talking about humans. They talk about vampires and kine.
Yep, there it is.
Buddies and lunch.
Yeah. Humans are simply a lower evolved species that is food. They believe that when you go through that transformation of the embrace, that you truly become a different species. You do not eat the same foods. You do not procreate the same way. You have your body functions in a completely different way.
If it was anything else without an embrace, we'd look at it as hyperevolution.
Right. And they tend to be very scientific, very logical, and that's how they look at things. They sort of take emotion out of it.
Okay.
And the opening chapter of the clan book is a sire and a child, and they are like walking through a lab where you have humans and kindred both in various stages of life or death and being like dissected and like analyzed.
So they are literally out there just
Mad
getting the
scientists.
information, making the determinations whether they are mentally healthy or not based on information that they're taking. It's not just a blanket madness to cut open things.
Right.
They're studying.
They want knowledge. They want control.
They're
They
Frankenstein, not the monster.
They are. They want dominance. These are the things that are very important to them. And all in this service of transforming, of becoming something more, of becoming better, of being something better.
Okay.
And so they are, historically, your Vlad Dracul. Within the VTM lore, Dracul is not their founder, but he is one of their clan.
Okay.
Well, it's the dragon.
And they are called the Dragons. And that's for a lot of reasons. For a bit, I thought it was because they actually have a power that allows them to change their body shape.
Okay.
And so I sort of thought, well, it has to do with that, like maybe taking a more draconic form or something like that. And it's really not. It's much more psychological. It is the fact that they are the old world, Eastern European landowners, the noble class.
Okay.
They are very obsessive about ownership and
Right.
Having their domain.
Their horde.
Their horde. And so they have very draconic psychological factors.
So let me ask you this: for the Toreador, what their big art love, their obsession was also that double-edged sword, as Tori was giving us the Bane side of it. Is it like that with the Tzimisce, where that need for a spot, land ownership is something that works against them from a character if they don't obtain it?
Yeah. So in the old versions, again, back to that sort of Dracula legend and lore, they had to be, in order to like rest, they had to be surrounded by like their land. You know, that idea of Dracula having
Being
the
a
coffin
hoard.
full of soil from his property.
So you need to be in a space or surrounded by things that will allow you to rest and recover.
So in the modern version, it doesn't have to be their land, but it has to be possession and ownership and something that has like a psychological attachment.
Okay. So this could be something like as simple as Dracula's baby Blanky.
Yes.
To
Comfort item,
right.
as I have emotional support dragon in my hand.
Coffin filled with slightly used
Yeah, and
emotional support dragon.
And it can be like the coffin,
Right.
You know, it could be just literally just that they have.
It's
that,
almost like
that
this
very
totem.
specific thing that they have, and that is a part of their bane.
Okay.
That they have to have something that they have power and dominion over, and it always has to be close to them.
And so that once again, you're dealing with a very unique strand of power within this clan, going back to their old draconic ways, their mad scientist tendencies, and to kind of give them that neg of, okay, that's all good, but your ass better be home at this spot or have these things, or otherwise you will not be recuperating or resting as well.
Right. Now, I will say, to be fair, like that is about like their only drawback. Like they're powerful. So they have one of their powers is I'm not certain on the pronunciation. I'm going to say it how I think it should be. Protein. Could be protean.
Protean, yep.
Protean. Okay. So that is flesh changing. Literally, they can shape change themselves. They can mold and carve themselves to look like whatever they want. And they can also do it to others.
So they can clay face and they can clay face your face?
Yes. So they'll do like ghouls. Very commonly, and then
that makes
they're
sense.
they're not, you know, these aren't just ghouls that are like blood attached. They then like transform them to be the most efficient that they need to be. So like if they're soldiers, they might reinforce their bones.
They optimize them.
Yeah.
Now, I also read something that they use this power, I might get it wrong, to clone themselves, to send those same ghouls out looking like mimics of
Right,
them.
because they can make it look however they want.
And be in different places at once. That's such a power.
Yeah.
That's such something. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And they can use that in a couple different ways. One is that flesh carving, but like another is like, say they're fighting. Like, you know, they can do Wolverine claws all of a sudden, you know, or, you know, fangs.
Turn your arm into that sword blade. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they have like dominate and animalism, which I think is a little bit more common in some of the other clans.
And that
but
protean,
also very strong powers.
That's what I was going to say, is that animalism with the protean, you want to talk aspect of the wolf, aspect of the
right. Yes.
I want to go back to something if I can, because I think that it's one of the more important things to know about this clan. How do they look at those clans inside of the Camarilla?
I was wondering about
they look down on.
You're capitulating to your food. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah. So the big thing there is lack of control.
Okay.
So like in this very first chapter of the clan book, you know, again, it's a good chapter for sort of introducing the clan, because it's a sire teaching a newly embraced vampire. And, you know, it's things about like, we do not frenzy. Like that is, we never do not have control of ourselves.
Right.
If we do that action, it is because we choose to do that action, because it is what is going to give us the best outcome that we want.
And those that cannot do that have a loss of control, are lesser vampires, lesser kindred. So it's almost the level away from the Ventru of order and rules and structure in this, to know you need to hone your self-discipline and be the best that you can be, and always be getting better.
Correct. And then they also, just their whole idea. So there's Sabbat. We haven't really brought that up. There's Sabbat. Sabbat beliefs are, and they're like ideologically founding clan of Sabbat.
Yeah.
And so, you know, their beliefs are very much, you embrace vampirism and, you know, sort of fuck humanity.
Leave that old life behind, Toreador.
So the whole aspect of the masquerade and blending in and all of that, they're like, why are you trying to look like a cow?
Right.
Like why are you pretending to be the hamburger?
Sure.
Like that's ridiculous. And
what a great analogy.
And so they look down on the other clans just as not being what they are.
Right.
And so therefore, if you are not being what you could be, then you are not worthwhile.
It's a betrayal to yourself.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of
vampire
structure.
snobs.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, beyond
Like
snobs.
I mean, like blue bloods type.
I mean,
like
to the point of, in the other clans, particularly with the Camarilla and everything, there's rules against killing, kindred and all of this other kind of stuff. And the Tzimisce are just like, oh, I'll do experience on the Ventru Prince. Sure. Don't care. Your head is now in my fish tank, and I'm watching the animals in there feed.
Right. No, absolutely. It's one of those classes that I think gets stayed away from because of the focus on the flesh changing and the experimentation. And if you kind of look into it, especially from that Sabbat side, they're just saying, hey, we're what's next. And we're going to go find out what's next. We're going to be on the bleeding edge of this and have all of the benefits of the knowledge that comes with it.
How do they pick like who
to embrace?
Who to embrace?
Yeah. So again, just like everything, it's all very, very
directed,
very controlled. Lots of data before they ever make a choice.
Batch of candidates whittled down through
like
analysis.
they will observe and watch people for years, put them through challenges and tests, to make certain and really don't give a shit if the person doesn't survive the embrace.
There's always somebody else.
Yeah.
If we are to believe that the masquerade prevents war with humanity and protects the kindred, if you're Sabbat, if you're Tzimisce, if you are not buying into that, are you getting more heat? Is it because of these Sabbat anti-structures, or you're allowed to go let your V flag fly? Are you getting the Holy Order? Are you getting the Hunters maybe more towards this? And is there some Sabbat on Ventru, hey, you guys need to get your shit together because you're blowing it for everybody kind of thing?
So I didn't come across that in my research. I think it makes a lot of sense, though, that because they are not buying into the masquerade.
And they're not anarchs, though. They're not just let's go tear somebody's throat out. They're thinking about it. But literally, don't ask me to be afraid of the reprisal of the cow, right?
And also, though, their very nature, though, will also tend to be a little bit more reclusive to the effect of, Frankenstein.
They've got a lab.
Not the monster, but they're more likely to be in their domain where they have control, whatever that may be, whether it's a castle on old noble lands or whether it's an underground lab somewhere.
They've got their ghouls, they've got their thralls, they're probably posting up.
Yeah, and they're doing what they want to do in the way they want to do it. Independence and freedom to evolve and do what you want to do is huge to them.
In the trappings of needing to keep up the Wall Street appearance or running with a pack of gangrels or the politics of the Camarilla is something they're beyond. Let me do that independent sort of...
And the only thing I think would connect with that as far as maybe having some bit of cover-up would be around the idea of you may not have control.
Right.
Like if you let it just be out there, like if you're just...
You can't direct it.
A Tzimisce who looks like a snake, because that's the evolved form that you've done, walking down Wall Street, you're probably not in control of that situation.
Correct.
And they always want to be in control.
How would you put them in a party?
So that I thought was like really interesting is like, how would you do that?
How would you do that? Because
so the best ideas I could come up with, because I'll be honest, like if you could make it work, this is a very powerful character to play, in my opinion. And if you're into science and
solving
I think
the
problems,
the scientific method, putting a theory together,
right?
Those things and then the discovery.
Yeah.
Yes, we did find the thing. We did cure the thing.
And as long as you, as a player, can handle, honestly, the psychological darkness, if you can handle that as a player, because truly they just don't care about, like, one of the things was, like, as someone was, like, being tortured and screamed, the newly turned Tzimisce was sort of like, oh, it soothed my vitae.
Right.
Like, it didn't sound bad to them. It felt great.
It feels like a classroom. It feels like we're getting information.
It's the scientist who has not had, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing that because that's not the most...
Right.
They're
it's no, this gives us information.
Right.
And
I don't care.
Running in to save the torture victim, they run in to collect the eyeball because they're currently working on some ocular. Yeah,
right.
It's all scientific data and it's all specimens.
Yeah.
So
I think how you would bring them into a party is that, a lot of recommendations were like, say, an expert. Brought in by the prince.
Oh, I like that.
For a certain purpose. Now, you would have to have a reason why they would want to help. Maybe you're providing them that. Maybe you're giving them information that they wouldn't otherwise have. And I focused a lot on, like, physical things, and I think that was very early Tzimisce versions. In the later versions, they have also used those same core characteristics, but it might be more in, like, a philosophical pursuit or things like that too. So just to, I guess, throw it out there, it doesn't need to be just like the mad scientist,
right? Just like the Toreador doesn't have to be the artist with the paintbrush,
and that's the thing actually too, is they can be artisans,
sure,
because they always want to create something better.
Yep. Innovators, engineers,
I could see
inventors,
like having a psychiatrist,
right?
Who will do those, like the Stanford prison experiment. It gave us data.
You can get a lot of weird places with that non-emotional tie. No need to maintain this masquerade. You almost get this purity of vampire that, if left to their own devices, sort of thing, and that staunch belief that we're here because we've evolved. We're better. That we don't need to whine the world. And just that dichotomy, instead of depending on your interworkings into the mortal world to maintain the masquerade, just that look over to the fence and go, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Right.
You're negotiating with the taco salad.
Exactly.
It's a really cool view, but it begs that question that Tori threw out really hard. If you're going to have a player play that, especially as a beginner, you're going to have one hell of a sharp hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the other clans will probably just barely tolerate them if you have a good enough hook.
I was going to say,
I think they'd be hard to blend in for a GM, but I think if you could do it, it would be an incredibly powerful player at the table.
Definitely could be. I would almost say that you would have to do a full Sabbat table.
That I was thinking.
Yeah, you could not.
That Camarilla wall is going to be tough.
So they did say, I've said this to Tori earlier, I feel like in the most recent version of VTM, they've gotten a lot more around sort of giving players the ability to choose, as long as you can give good
backstory.
Reason. Yep. And so they now, as a clan, are Sabbat, also independent, actually more independent now than anything else. A little bit anarch, a few of them.
Sure.
And very rarely, but is possible, that they could be Camarilla. And so I think
that'd have to be a real,
I think you'd have to have
narrow lane for them.
Really narrow lane, to have it play that way.
Or like maybe was it your Banu Hakim character that was sent to, like, hey, go ahead and go. You and all it is research. All it is reconnoiter the entire situation. But yeah, it's a very interesting, and one, I'll be honest with you, that I just kind of stayed away from a role playing aspect because I couldn't get my head out of the flesh turning and the mad scientist aspects of it. But they balance it very well by having that charge bane that you have to rest with something that you familiarly obsess with, whether it's a place or a thing.
And it also gives you control. If you know, I mean, think of them like a dragon.
Yep.
If you had the dragon's horde,
right,
You know, like that gives you control of the dragon. You might end up with a really fucking pissed off dragon.
And once you lose that control, you're fucked.
You're fucked. But that could also be used as a way of manipulation or control.
I mean, it is hook for
it is a bane.
Yeah,
it is a bane for them.
Yep. That you do have that level of reliance on those precious items or that precious space. Anyway, I appreciate it. I think we could go back at both the Toreador and the Tzimisce and do like another because they're just a little bit deeper, but I'm building this table in my brain now. I'm building it as a Ventru Prince too, and I'm like, no, because honestly, Sabat, you're willfully breaking the Masquerade daily. That's blood hunt. Like,
right.
If we're at a table together, I've got to have a hook sharp enough to get my Ventru past the fact that, or your gangrel sheriff that just knows the rules.
And I think it would be about power.
Yeah.
I mean, your hook would have to be about power. That having control of this person, having this person do whatever you need them to do, rather than getting rid of them.
Right.
They're
more valuable.
If they're more valuable.
They're a means to an end, maybe.
I think that hook, the control thing would be another. If you've got their shit, they're probably disciplined enough at this point to keep their shit together to get their thing back.
To come to you and say, what's it going to take?
Okay.
And then spend the next 100 years planning your downfall.
Yeah, then you're...
And they get like a fingernail shaving, take it down to the lab, and they're like, we're going to build 15,000 of this motherfucker and learn how to kill him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. I love it. See, like right there, you're in for a story.
I will say, I think he'd be fun
shit
at the table, but really, if I was a GM... Man, this is my big bad.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm thinking.
Oh my gosh, such a fun NPC.
That's a huge big bad.
Oh, yeah. Or they have the one piece of information that you need, but getting that out of them, you're going to have to give them a lot.
Yeah.
The negotiations, especially come from that place of needing control, and in that.
Tell me why I give a shit.
And they're not going to cede control to a Ventru Prince because that Ventru Prince is beneath them.
Right, because he's out there negotiating with lunch every day.
Can you imagine Vlad Dracul like bowing down to the Prince of England? No.
Quit talking to the ice cream, you idiot.
Right, exactly. Like, you can eat everyone, and you're asking people to play nice. You know what I mean? You're petting the cheeseburger, and you must stop. I love it. I do need to wrap us up smartly, though, guys. Great conversation. We've got some feedback telling us that you guys are liking our beginner's guide to VTM clan exposés. If you have opinions, contrary opinions.
Maybe you've played Tzimisce at the table. How did it go? How did that work?
Let us know what your dragon experience was. Let us know about your favorite Toreadors. I just love them because I think they're probably the most versatile. And you can wield humanity as a Toreador. I love it. I appreciate the time with both of you coming out and recording. We will be going strong into the new year. I think this will come out in January of 2026. It will come out in January. We thank you very much for listening. Please find us on all of our socials. Please find our website at www.wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. Support us on Patreon. Leave a comment on our YouTube. Please interact with us. Until you hear us again, have a very good week.
Bye.
Bye. This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. Find us at wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria if you or anyone you know has stories or other good things to say about TTRPGs. Get a hold of us. You can find us on all the social medias.
This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. Are you interested in sharing stories of your favorite TTRPG experiences? If so, reach out at www.wordleafmedia.com/contact us on our socials, or you can now leave a comment on your favorite Finding Atoria episode at our Wordleaf Media YouTube channel.